We are live from Talladega Super Speedway, track that's known for the big one. Hopefully some drivers can avoid this tonight. They are right in the middle of their qualifying here, but I'll bring up some race info here, 250 miles here. Oh, and this is really going to come down to, last year we had stages, so you knew a caution was going to happen, but it's really going to be who can come on and off pit road clean. That's what's going to make a big difference here, because if you get on pit road and you slide through your box and have to go in reverse, that's really going to hurt you, and it's not going to be a very fun thing to have to deal with for sure. I know that some drivers will probably get pretty mad with that. I know there's some people that have shot that, and I'm like, yeah, it's really terrible that they did it. But there's still, looks like we've got most of the drivers that are sitting in the field right now. Currently, it is Matthew Rodriguez. He is sitting on top with a 52.28 Matthew. He won at Martinsville, but that's not the win that he wanted to get, and you could really hear it in his voice. At Martinsville, he didn't like it. He didn't want to move the 17. It was a bump. It was trying to bump him, but he didn't really mean to dump him. Even though it sure looked like it, but you could just tell the defeat in his voice. So he's probably gonna be trying to battle back and kind of redeem himself for that. He just doesn't like how that went down, and I don't blame him. You always want to be pretty much as clean as you can when you race. It's not something drivers want to wreck each other. But what I'm going to be really looking forward to here is HSR. I do a lot of their races. We're going to see how are they going to work these lanes, and how are these bumps going to deal to these guys. We'll look at Vernon Reeser doing his qualifying laps, but really looking, these cars can take a little bit more of a bump than the next gens can. Next gens are kind of actually pretty sensitive to getting touched, but we'll have to see how are they going to take these runs that they'll get. Will they leave somebody out to dry? Will they work with them? It's going to kind of be a guessing game. I know we're going to see a lot of teammates working together here. At Freedom Motorsports, they'll probably all get together. And let's actually talk about Zack Woods. Zack Woods, he has a chance to lead the points after this race. And I raced in the Ghost Cup Series last year. Zack, he wasn't a driver who was necessarily up front very often. He was kind of in the back, and by no means a bad driver. He just wasn't up front very often. And this year he seemed to have definitely turned a corner, running pretty consistent. I'm not even sure what his worst finish is, but he's done pretty well. And as Tate is actually he's in the military or Marine, so he has a mission day, so he's probably going to lose that points lead to somebody here tonight. Woods, this track is kind of up for anyone's grabs. Really, anybody can really win when you race here. It's really just who can you find a drafting partner with more than offense. We see, look, it looks like everybody's staying pretty much in the same spot currently. I think Reese is on his second lap. It's like these guys are going out on their laps. They're cutting this pretty close, surprisingly. So you getting that big run off the top lane, trying to get as much speed as they can. That is awfully quiet for you. We do have some new cameras here, so we will see. I got starter cam, start finish cam, photo finish cam. It's got different cameras, so hopefully y'all just have a little bit more immersion here. It's kind of a shout out to Dylan McDonald from Core Racing Network. He helped me with this stuff, so definitely something that you all should enjoy. We still do have the default cams. Will probably be on those most of the times if I had to guess here. I believe they should be actually coming to. I think they should. This might be the very end of qualifying here. I believe that it is for sure. But you never have to see, can Roos do his experiment again? He's trying to take down the wall. He can't get it to move. He's hit it with his front end. He can hit it with his back end. He can hit it upside down. This is definitely a track that he could test that, but most likely definitely will not want to test that through here. But we'll bring up the starting grid here. Matthew Rodriguez first, Kyle Gardner second, Zack Woods third, Dalton McKinney fourth, Chris Wheeler sixth, Chris Wheeler fifth, Mike Salinowski sixth, Vernon Reese seventh, James Silvers eighth, Devin Scroggins ninth, Chris Hubka, he is 10th, the man that runs the show here at Ghost Cup Series. That's not the right one here. 11th, Tyler Evans. 12th, Christian Roos. 13th, Robert Kenny 14th, Jacob Bowen 15th, Wally Babb 16th, Noah Owens 17th, Rylan Fontinato 18th, Tom Bourne 19th, Christopher Burge 20th, Robert Lawrence 21st, Justin Ray 22nd is Mike Teller. That is race control. So 21 cars in today's race. Hopefully it will be a good one for y'all to enjoy here at Talladega's. I'm not a fan of super speedways, but they can definitely be fun. It's a lot of action, a lot of side by side all the time. Drivers will have to deal with that. And that's kind of one nerve-wracking thing. You're all so close together. One person goes around in front of the field, and there goes everybody behind them. Everybody's going to pile in. You're not going to have anywhere to go. That's definitely something that they're going to have to watch for tonight for sure. I will give them all a paint refresh when they get loaded in here. And make sure drivers' paint schemes show up correctly so we don't have anybody saying, "Ah, man, I had a good paint scheme this night." Looks like, you know, in some other news, HSR is putting on a Halloween race, so that'll be fun. Hopefully that'll bring in a lot of people here. As Hubka, I'm going to embarrass you very soon, my man. Oh yeah, you're getting embarrassed here. Oh, you should not have let me see this, Hubka. Should not have let me see this, Hubka. Actually, I don't want to get mad at me, but... Oh, Lord, man. What are you doing in this? As Hubka. Can't believe you put that on there, man. Looks like we'll do paint refresh. Sorry. Paint refresh right now. Hitting the wrong buttons here. Went to hit Control R, hit my Windows somehow, as that should not be possible. But evidently I did do it. Normally my keyboard would disable that option for me to do it. But if y'all are new here, if you don't mind throwing a subscription to Ghost Race Network, you can always take it back completely free. Like, ooh, that was a nice paint scheme there from the 52 of Jacob Bowen. My favorite color is blue. That is a very nice. That's good. Dang, man. That looks like a good paint scheme from him. It's like Eclipse photography. Gardner has a pretty good paint scheme also. So we'll show you a 3 and 4 entry here. You see those cars all the way in the back there. That's a little too far back for him, but drivers are going to have to work together. So we'll see if they go single file or if they decide to kind of branch out with each other. That's going to be one thing that we'll have to see what they decide to do. Got somebody sharing their screen here. I'm looking over in the Discord to see what we have other drivers doing. Looks like Robert Lawrence is probably having somebody join him in the Discord. Watch him race. 99 wide bat. And you see these, actually, I'll bring this up soon. You see those red banners. I believe Hubka has one. Who else had one? I just saw one. Wally Babb has one. That is the No Ghost banner. And that is a chance for the drivers to win, I think, $100 if I'm correct. Gartner has one. So it's Gartner. It's like Sabanowski, Hubka, and Wally Babb. They all have one here. But pace car is going to pull off. They got to wait this long front stretch to get back to the start-finish line to get this race going. We'll look at the start-finish cam here. He's got the flag in his hand. He has to wait forever for these drivers to get here. See him just get in frame now. He's got it in his hand. They're going to enter the Geico restart zone very soon. Green flag's in the air. He's waving it now. We're underway at Talladega. Rodriguez gets a pretty good jump. They're already starting to fan out. They're already 3 wide around Hubka. Looks like somebody might have not got going. Somebody might have missed a gear there. Could have been very bad. You see Roos all the way on the top. Scientific man. Should have a name for him. Going out of the science guy. But a cheaper version of him, I guess. I don't know. Something like that. But you see, they've already kind of spaced out. Surprisingly, looks like everybody's trying to run that bottom lane. Looks like the 98 of Christopher Burge. She'll probably drop to the back. As we already have somebody who has damage. Tom Bourne already has front end damage. So evidently, I think, yep, well, kind of a dead giveaway right here. You see the 88 of Noah Owens. You can see it on his bumper right there. Looks like he probably didn't get going, and Bourne had absolutely nowhere to go and just ran right into the back of him. one thing I could possibly think of that could have happened there. But you see that middle lane always shows their strength. That's two teammates in Gartner and McKinney on the top. They've got Bourne behind him. Wally Babb, Rylan Fonchinato is also coming with them. Gartner's going to go out front just half a second. He's got a huge run. These cars definitely get bigger runs in the trucks and everything else that you all see, but he's probably going to get not clear from just yet. See Wheeler going down to the bottom. Decides that he wants to get out of this, and I will not blame him. Early in the race, save tires. Well, not save tires, really save fuel is what he can really be pulling here, but it looks like Gartner and McKinney will go back down to the bottom. Those two are teammates, so they're going to be working together most of the night. The 10 and the 57 are also teammates. See Zack Woods here. Has a chance to come out leading the points. Currently running 6 right now. Got some action back here. Hubka goes up to the top. See Roos Bowen jumps out. Looks like Bourne, even with that front end damage, Bourne is somehow staying with these guys. That is heavy front end damage. Like, that is very, very bad on his car. I don't know how he's managing to keep pace with these guys up here. It's kind of amazing. Actually, need to share the stream here, but looks like Bourne and Rodriguez are going to go up to the top lane. It's only 2 cars, though, but you don't need many people up there to go somewhere. They might try to do it by themselves. They don't need help. They're going to try it, not get it just yet. And they just need a little bit more cars up there with them to really make that work. I don't think they're going to get them in time. Be calm throughout most of this. Not any passes being made yet. Kenny and Rodriguez all falling back. Look, everybody is basically running in a single file at this point. They're not really racing each other, more just, I'm right behind you, I'm just going to give you a shove. I think they've realized, man, we got 100 laps of this. It takes you about a whole minute to get around this track, 50 seconds. But I think they realize I really don't need to be, running so hard. I'm perfectly fine doing this, but pit strategy could come into play. I'm not sure how much they can make it on fuel. If I had to guess, maybe 25 laps on fuel. I think that's what they could probably do here. I'm not sure what the fuel percentage is tonight. See 77, Tyler Evans get off the bar on the yellow apron. As I saw drivers, they get on that yellow apron, that'll get their car really upset. That'll really spin them around incredibly quick. I've saw people, their back end will just kick out, so they got to be very, very careful when they do that for sure. You can't be really all on that bottom. You want to be as close as you can, but you don't want to be touching it exactly. As I need to share this very quickly. Got somebody working that top lane. That is 2 teammates in the 17 and the 7. That is Tyler Evans and James Silvers. But it's their other team that they're going by is a 77 on the bottom and the 71. All these guys must have to have the number 7 in their or on their car, because they evidently all have a 7 somewhere in it. You see 2 teammates also, Hubka and Roos, riding back here currently. There are 2 other teammates that are in this race. They're up front right now, so they're having a little bit of fun. But we'll have to see. Can this 4-car pack start? Looks like it's only 2 now. For some reason, I thought it was 4. Maybe somebody had ducked back down, but they're trying to make it work on the outside. But I think McKinney, he'll pretty much just ride behind Gartner, their teammates, whenever he gets a bump. Or whenever he gets a run, he'll probably just give him a little bit of a nudge to get him a little bit farther out there. I don't think he's going to be making an aggressive move to try to get around him. It's just so early, and I don't believe there's a fast repair. Hubka has done away with those. You see, look, all these teammates, the 71, or 77, and the 17 are all up here. So they are going to start forming a line. Looks like Woods, he wants to take his chance at that. He sees them coming, goes up into that middle lane. I gave Woods some tips before this race has started. Hopefully he's trying to use them to the best of his abilities. He's going to get around McKinney. He's got to get this 17 a little bit closer to his bumper to get a little bit of a draft from him. Almost hooking each other. 17 almost got hooked by 7 there, but they're going to split Woods 3 wide. Not yet. Woods come up now. Oh, he's in 3 wide now. Decided to stay in that middle lane. There's all those guys up there that are teammates just decided to leave him out of that group. Didn't want him to lead it at all, but this is going to hurt that outside lane. They're going to have to go right around Woods. Oh, we're actually in the wall. Oh, no, contact. Woods, hard wreck. Not what he needed at all. Have to see. It looks like they just got loose on exit. The 77 hit the wall and right down into Woods. Woods needed a good night. 77 actually got away with less damage than Woods. But that is not what Woods wanted to see at all here. His engine is going to expire if he does not get into the pits quickly here. Don't believe they have a fast repair. Woods did not need that at all. Yep, that is not what he needed here. Catastrophe for him, and it's only lap 8 in the race, and he pretty much has to sit on pit road and wait for them to fix his engine. That is not what he wanted to see here at all tonight. So we might have somebody joining me in the booth here pretty soon. Have to see if he does join, but lead drivers will be coming down pit road here, maybe get on all the same pit strategy. Gartner, I believe he'll lead him here. Pit road is actually closed this time by. I don't know. Looks like it's going to open here really soon. But a split decision. 6-9, but faked me out. 0-0. Vernon Reese stays out. Looks like he is the only. Oh, that is not good. He's the only person that stayed out. So he's going to be the odd one on fuel. The 16 will probably take this time to fix his front end. So we'll actually go back and look at the start of this race where the 16 got this damage. I think he got into the back of the 88. We'll watch him do their pit stops here very quickly. Those I'm having to go all the way up on this. There it is. Go back here, but looks like everybody's off and away. Fuel only. Gartner beats them all out, but he's not going to be first. It will be Vernon Reese. We will look at what happened here at the start of the race. So we'll go back. And we'll look at the 16 of Tom Bourne. Where did he get this damage from? We'll have to see. Oh, yep, there it is. So, just what I thought. The 88. Let's see what happens here. Oh, Roos misses a gear. 52 checks up. 88 reacts also. Checks up right in front of the 16. So it looks like Roos just didn't get any gear there. I believe that's what happened. He just, and that kind of, everybody kind of scattered and reacted to it. They didn't really expect that. Kind of an odd thing to see there. But I believe that. Let's see if he's still in pit road. The 16, let's see how much damage he got fixed. I don't think he got much fixed on it, surprisingly. Like, that, oh gosh, that front end is beat in, but Woods. Oh, this is. I know he has to be so mad about this. You come in with the chance. Now, don't get me wrong, I think he's going to lead the points to begin with. I'll actually look at the points a while. They are under caution right here. Let me pull them up currently. Nope, that's not what I need. I believe he does make updates. I'm just looking in the completely wrong spot. There goes. Oh, let me find him here. Driver standing. Here they are. So Woods was 26 points behind Tate. Did not race this race, so he's definitely going to drop some spots. But I don't think Woods will be leading the points from this race. It's pretty much up for anybody's grabs now. It can be Gartner, Robert, James, McKinney, Babb, Rodriguez, Roos, Bourne, Bowen, Reese, Fontenato, Wheeler, Spieth. As Spieth is not in this race. But, oh, that is just terrible for Zack Woods. I mean, that's the only thing that can be said. Looks like Rodriguez comes back down pit road. They've got some guys topping off, trying to get up on their fuel. We've got 3 teammates, Tom Bourne, Robert Kinney, and Matthew Rodriguez. Wait, that's right, that's Hupka. Matthew Rodriguez are all in here. Woods is having to watch this from his phone right now. He's got to be a little bit mad. He's got to pretty much fix all those required repairs and then get out. Looks like that was just a stop and go for Rodriguez. Yep, 4 seconds. It's getting up on fuel. Not a bad call. I mean, I do the exact same thing. But Reese is going to be in an odd position. He has 8 laps less fuel than these drivers up front. So he's going to have to hope for a quick caution here, but only 8 laps in, or sorry, 7 laps in and a caution comes out. That's not what we want to see. Luckily, it only took out 2 drivers. Sadly, one of them was Zack Woods. Something that he does not want to see for sure. as we will bring in Dylan McDonald here. He will be joining me in the booth. Hey, Dylan, you got a copy, man?
Yes, sir.
Man, well, thanks for joining me tonight. We actually just had our first caution. It took out Zack Woods and the 77. He got kind of got away with it, but Woods, he's definitely not going to be happy. Tate didn't race. Woods had a chance to hop out in front in the points, but he got taken out early. He's sitting in the pits right now. No fast repair, so he's already had a hard night here.
Oh, yeah, especially with it being Talladega, no fast repair, you definitely want to keep your car as clean as it possibly can, because with it being Talladega, the draft will play a big factor, and any little bit of damage on the front, sides, or the rear can hinder your chances at getting up to the front.
He actually got the 16. At the start of the green flag, it looks like Roos kind of missed a gear. Everybody reacted behind them. I believe it was the 52, the 88, and the 16. 88 checked up. 16 ran right into the back of him. 16 has some front end damage, but he's been able to stay up front with these guys. But I'm worried about Vernon Reese. He pitted on. He hasn't pitted at all. These guys have 8 laps more fuel. If there's no caution, he's going to pit alone. So that's good. That can definitely hurt him if nothing happens here.
Yeah, that could hurt him very much so, as just like you said, with it being them having more fuel than anybody else in the race, you're going to see a lot of different pit strategies.
That green flag goes back in the air. Reese is very far out there. I can see Gartner and McKinney mounting a run on him. They can really set him up as Woods, injured soldier, rolls out of pit road. No front end, no tail, or no decollete at all. So he's just trying to finish the race here. But McKinney, he can get a huge run on Reese right now. Reese got very far out there. That might have been a mistake from him, but Bab can't get to his bumper. Fontanado can't get to his bumper. Looks like McKinney's going to try to make the pass. He has, gosh, he's going so much faster than Reese. I think Reese actually realized that and just bailed out, and he wants to get to the back of this pack because he's going to have to try to save as much fuel as he can, but Gartner's trying to work the outside lane. He's got his teammate in Hupka. They're moving around in the back. You saw Bourne go up high. He's got his teammate in Kenny and Rodriguez in front of him, that 88 that he definitely got familiar with early on in the race, just ducked back down to that bottom lane, but top lane doesn't have a lot of drivers, so we'll have to see if that forms up later, but McKinney goes back to the lead. He's brought Wally Babb with them, Fontanado, Lawrence, Devin, and Roos. That's his other teammate. Hupka's kind of battling back here. He's behind Gartner, so teammates are working together. They're not fully together like they would like, but they're making it work currently.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a big thing that you want to see is, can you get that top line to go? Yeah, everybody wants to be down on the inside, but with all that traffic on the inside, you're going to see a lot more checkups. So you definitely want to get 2 lanes going, so that way there's not a lot of checkups going on. You can get good runs off and see if you can put yourself from the back of the pack up towards the front and see if that outside lane can get a little bit more momentum than the inside.
I've been in so many HSR races. It seems like that middle lane always has something special. You don't really have to have as many cars as that bottom lane to beat them, but you got to be very, very cautious where you bump, especially in these. Now, the Fords, they have more of an advantage here with that flat front end. The Chevys are pretty much the most challenged vehicles on the track with that pointed front end. They can't really bump as good as these Fords, so this is where the Fords will typically shine, as Roos looks like he got in the apron there, got a little bit loose. He almost looped it there, as that's going to be something they're going to have to watch. 2 drivers trying to get as close as they can on that yellow line. Too much as Roos is bailing out of this. He wants nothing to do with what is happening up here. He's all the way on the bottom. He's pretty much went from about mid-pack to the very back, because it's only 13 laps in the race. He probably just wants to keep his car intact. He already saw what happened to Woods. That's probably in the back of his mind right now.
Yeah, especially, some people might say that, it was a silly decision, but, when you don't have a fast repair and the front of the pack like that was just a little bit all over the place, sort of say, you don't want to take a chance of somebody getting loose in front of you and you getting caught up in it. So that was actually kind of a smart move by Chrissy Roos to drop to the back and just ride it out until the end of the first stage.
Bourne being the Lone Ranger on the top, he's trying to make it work. He's going to have to get in line somewhere. I think he has a gap behind Gartner if he shoots it right now, but Wheeler is going to close that very quick if he doesn't realize it. I think his teammate Rodriguez is trying to come to his rescue. Yeah, that gap's closed on now, so he can't go down. So everybody's pretty much running a train on the bottom currently, what you'd expect. I'm not sure what their fuel load is here, but I believe they're maybe 30 laps, if I had to guess. Is what Hubca's probably set it to. So we'll have to see probably 3 more pit stops here at least. Maybe they can stretch a little bit farther, especially running in this line. But McKinney, he's burning off more fuel than these guys behind them. They're actually maybe getting to crack their throttle just a little bit. So McKinney, he'll have less fuel than these guys when they come down pit road.
Yeah, especially with Wally Babb and the 69 of Ryan Ficinato. They're able to kind of run 3/4 throttle, but also keep a big enough distance so that where they're still in the draft. So they're saving the most fuel other than Dalton McKinney, as he's got to run full throttle, full power the whole way around this track. And if it comes down to a fuel mileage race, you don't want to be in the lead. Towards the end of this race, you're going to see a lot of people go from the front of the pack to the rear just to save a little bit more fuel to make it to the end of the race without having to make a secondary pit stop.
You see, it looks like the flat-out racing network trucks are trying to work 16, 57, and 10 are all up there. That 16 is probably not the best person to lead it, but he's making it work with that beat-in front end somehow. He's trying to drag the 57 and the 10 along with him. He's making a little bit of ground. They'll gain in the corners, lose on the straight sometimes. As I think the drivers will start to see it in their rearview mirror that these guys are going to be coming, and they'll start to jump up there, but it looks like it's only really 3 cars right now currently.
Yeah, he just got a really good run on that number 22 on the outside. Going to see if the 57 and the 16 can get clear of the 16 or the 22. They're going to get clear of him and the 71 and possibly the 34 coming out of turn 3 and 4.
See, look at the exit here. The banking at Talladega is a lot. Drivers just running basically flat out the whole time, but that 16, he's making it work surprisingly. He's about to break even with the 34 of Lawrence. He's trying to get the 69 of Rylan Fonchinato. Also, so 3 vehicles beating basically the rest of the field right now currently. They're making it work. I think they realize that they're also in Toyota, so they can shove a little bit harder than some other vehicles can, especially the Chevys. The Fords are obviously the best with basically a flat front end here. But we'll see how far he can get up. He's made some good ground. He's got teammates behind him, so he knows he can trust them. But McKinney's kind of out here on his own. He doesn't have a teammate until Kyle Gartner, who is currently in 11th. So he's got a while back for his first teammate in sight.
Yeah, especially, racing this season, or not this season, but last season with me and you, before, we became broadcasters, you had to pick and choose who you wanted to work with because it all comes down to the final lap. Do you want your teammate up there with you before the last lap, or do you want your teammate there with you on the last lap? As I've lost many races to not having the proper teammate work, as sometimes my teammates weren't near me. But with the 16, the 57, and the 10, they're making that 3-car pack work. You can see Tom Bourne kind of doing a little bit of a side draft with the number 71. He's going to try to get clear of him. That's going to pull the 71 back off the 34. And now they're going to have a good drag race down this backstretch.
Yeah, that 71, he's kind of in the middle of nowhere, but he can get a huge run off of Lawrence. As you can see him get there, he closes up to Lawrence's bumper. I was trying to make sure that was the right car number there. But he's making it work. You think he might have finally stalled out because he's kind of in a weird spot now. Looks like, they realize that Rodriguez abandons his teammate. So all that work that Bourne just did there might just go down the drain here within about 2 laps if he cannot find a spot in line on this bottom. Looks like
it looks like the 57 is going to let him in, but Bourne doesn't want to take that inside lane. He's going to let the 10 go around, and then they're going to drop in line. So that was actually a pretty smart move by the number 57 to hold the inside line back a little bit to let his 2 teammates in.
You see everybody right now is just running the bottom here. What has happened to Reese? Reese is broken off from this pack, so something must have happened with him. He is pretty much on his own, but Roos is the last vehicle holding on to Humpka's bumper, so these guys are pretty much actually probably back here, they're probably having to run full throttle just to be able to keep drafting a little bit, but they're going back at it again. The 16, he's got the 10, the 57. Just as they quit that outside lane, they go right back to it, trying to make it work. They might get around Lawrence. They're going to try to set the sights on the 6-9 of Rylan. Got to be careful with your bumps. You don't want to be hitting each other in the corners. You can really hook somebody and send them into the wall. That they got to watch for here.
Yeah, especially with no fast repairs. And now with these guys, you seen them tuck into line a couple laps ago, and then Tom Bourne got a really good run on the 71, and instead of checking up to lose that momentum, he bounced it back out to the outside, and his teammates in the 10 of Robert Kennedy and the 57 of Matthew Rodriguez, they were able to go back out to the outside, and now they're really going to start pressuring for this lead. So we might see the 16 get the lead here in about 1 to 2 laps.
You can see that 10 is just glued to his bumper. You saw him pretty much shoving him down that whole tri-oval. That's actually probably the most dangerous spot to hit somebody in the rear, and the car's already starting to want to unload, but he made it work because he's being a little bit offset so he can give him a little bit of a better shove. They're trying to get around the 69. They're making slow work, but they're making it work doing this. But doing this also is hurting their fuel mileage because that 16's having to run full out. Now, I say probably with everybody on the bottom lane besides these guys, they're probably going to go, oh, that 16 got a huge shove from the 10 as I was talking about that. You saw him go almost sideways. But with their fuel, they're actually hurting themselves now because they've tucked out. They're not behind everybody. So these guys on the bottom lane, they'll be able to go a little bit longer. Now, they did stay in line for a little bit, so they're not going to be as bad, but they will definitely be behind on fuel if they do have to come down pit road.
Oh, yeah, and you definitely want to make sure you get a decent-sized group of cars going down pit road. You don't want to be the empty straggler, you could say. You definitely don't want to be there by yourself, as, you know, this is a plate track. You got to have the draft. But you also don't want to follow too closely behind a teammate or a competitor. You kind of want to stagger yourself. That's something that you don't really see a lot with plate track racing going into pit lane, is a lot of people just want to ride up right behind somebody going into pit lane when you kind of want to give a little bit of a distance between the car in front of you, but also be to the left or the right. So that way, if he breaks before you, you can be out of the way and not rear end him and send him into the wall.
And one thing too, when green flag stops happen, especially at Talladega, you know, drivers, you have a little option to change your brake bias, and drivers are like, okay, I got in pit road pretty safe. Now let's mess with the brake bias. Let's just see how deep I can get in there. And that's when drivers make the mistake. They put it too far to the rear, and they'll shoot their car around, just get on the brake so hard. But back to your, what you said about drivers kind of want to space out. Talladega's pit entry is pretty wide, so you got to really fan out. That's what they'll do if they all come in a big pack, because you can run over each other incredibly easily here.
Oh, yeah, I seen it last season in the Ghost playoff race. You know, I would always tell my teams, like, hey, spread out a little bit. I'm going to go all the way down to the inside by the wall, so that way I know I'm not hitting anybody and nobody's hitting me. So you kind of want to have a little bit of a strategy played out, and I wonder if anybody has talked to any other teams to see if they want to come in with a different team and try to get away from this main pack as quickly as they possibly can instead of just being a 2 or 3 car pack.
I'm looking at Hupka and Roos. They have lost touch with this pack. They're 2 cars, but they are actually almost 2 seconds. Hupka is about 2 seconds behind Justin Ray, who's the last car holding on to this draft. So Hupka, he's got to kind of hope for a caution. Either a caution or something happens up that makes these guys slow down, because he's not going to be able to get the draft. He's going to have to come in kind of a weird position. He isn't going to be alone if he does pit, but it's definitely going to hurt him if he does have to pit under green here.
Yeah, looking at Chris Hupka's car, he's got a little bit of a scuff mark on that front end of that Chevy M&M's number 5. And here we go. Chris Hupka's going to go down pit lane. He's going to be the only car going into pit lane, so that's not a good strategy by him, but it could pay out to his advantage as he just towed into his pit box. So not sure exactly what's going on with the number 5 machine. Hopefully he can get that M&M's Chevy back out there on the track.
Yeah, the only thing I could think of, you point out the front end damage. Maybe he was going to overheat. I mean, that's the only thing that I could think of on top of my head, but it didn't look like it. I didn't really see anything that was going to be too much. That really wasn't even heavy front end, but maybe had something else going on that caused him to have to hop out of his vehicle there. So it's like the 10 is really side drafting that second. When you see him get really close to him, then shoot away from him. You just want to try to pull that driver back to him, as these guys have been trying that top lane the whole night. They've made it work a little bit, then they lose. It's just, can they keep that consistently? They just haven't been able to do it yet.
Yeah, they if you notice there, Bryce, they switched the running order. So they went the 10 to the front, the 16 to the rear, and left the 57 in the middle. So you're going to have the damaged car in the back bringing in the tow, but you have the cleaner cars up front, so they're going to get a little bit more of a better draft than what the 16 of Tom Bourne would get, since he had all that front end damage. So that's going to be another thing you're going to have to watch and see what they can do on this on the outside.
So they actually abandoned 16, abandons him, but the 16 not being the leader is probably the better choice, because he's not cutting the air as clean as those guys up there, so he's actually probably slowing them down when he was doing it. But running in the back is actually probably the best thing for him. They caught Vernon Reese. He'll go 1 lap down here. He's going to stay high out of these guys' way. Still McKinney leads. Babb second. Fontanado third. Lawrence fourth. And 71 of Devin Scroggins. He's fifth right now. It looks like the 6'9" got in the apron there. I saw him shoot up. Just a little bit. Drivers trying to wrap that yellow line as close as they can. Looks like the 69. They're trying to make a move on McKinney here, maybe. He gave it a look for sure there. 34 gave it a look also.
Yeah, we may possibly see a move here. You can see Wally Babb and the 69 going to run a little bit higher, kind of stay away from that apron. I know it's a psych thing. I've done it in multiple races, you know, especially at a plate track. You want to get as close as you can to that apron, but once you hit it, it kind of freaks you out a little bit. So it's going to take a lap or two to get readjusted and be able to find the confidence to run that apron again.
Drivers just trying to get as close, and really what that does when you get on, you know, you can nip it a little bit and it'll get you up the track, but if you get, I say, a little bit more than your tire width down there, that'll send you right around, because it's just really the elevation difference. You just lose so much grip and you're trying to stay in the throttle, and I've saw that happen so many times. The HSR drivers just get as close as they can. They just get too much of it and it reaches out and grabs them, but everybody's pretty calm so far. Everybody's basically running single file now. Those guys finally decided to stop trying to make that outside work, but Roos, he's also all alone. He's going to be probably about 16 seconds back. So something must have happened back there to make those guys drop off like they did.
Yeah, not sure exactly what happened to Chris Roos there. Maybe, well, we did see that Chris Roos was riding behind Chris Hupka, and that was his only drafting partner. So now he's really got to be banking on the stage caution or just the caution in general, just to get caught back up to the lead pack. As we got the number 60 of Zack Woods, he's going to make an appearance back out here on track. Going to be missing the deck lid and have heavy front end damage to the number 60 Toyota machine.
I think he's just trying to make laps at this point. Way off pace. There's pretty much nothing that can be done for him, as I know he's going to be pretty mad about tonight. And if I was him, I would be too, for sure. It's not that he's wanting it. It's basically taken out. Lap 8, 77 came off the wall. This guy a little bit too tight, maybe a little bit too loose, just overcorrected down into Woods. Woods, the innocent bystander. 77 actually got away with probably less damage, but 77 is also out of the race, so maybe Woods didn't win in the long run. But everybody is running this bottom currently. There is not a single vehicle that is trying to run that top lane.
Yeah, right now they got at least a good car length in between everybody. They're not trying to force the issue, bumping through the corners, bumping down the straightaway. They want to keep a little bit of a gap on the next person in front of them. Just that way, if you do get a good run, you can push them up to the car, but then the car that's pushing you has to let go, because rule of thumb, especially at a plate track, you don't push the pusher. And I've been a recipient of that too many times, and tell you what, it is not the greatest feeling in the world when you're getting pushed and you're pushing the guy in front of you. You got to hold that wheel super steady, and it could turn around and bite you when you least expect it.
Yeah, this place is also known pretty much for heartbreaks. You can go from leading in one corner to being in the wall in about 3 seconds. So, but bumps are mainly what does cause that, or drivers are trying to be a little bit too aggressive on their moves. The 77 got off the bottom. Looks like he might have a little issue there coming off the corner, but he tucks back in. It would be completely fine. Gartner looks like he is pretty much just kind of having to watch his teammate Dalton McKinney lead it up here. Gartner was up front. He came down pit road, then he's kind of settled back here in 8th. Currently, he's not had a bad race so far, as they're just past 1/4 of the race, lap 30.
As you've seen there, the 71 kind of jumped up to maybe get a little bit of fresh air, but the 22 followed him. So maybe the 71 and 22 might be thinking of making that second line work again. As you see the 71 kind of get away from that apron, but quickly drops back down. Going to wait for that run and see what he can do, and see if maybe the 22, as the 22 is moving up now, we're going to see who would go with the 71, and same with the 22.
Yeah, it's kind of, I think early in the race, as early as they are, they're not even close to, or they're getting somewhat close to halfway, but I think that, if somebody needs help, even if they aren't teammates, they'll decide to do that. But when it gets later in the race, I don't think you're going to get help from anybody. It's kind of anybody's race at that point. They don't care. If you go and nobody makes a move with you, you're in a very hard position, because they can leave you out to dry very quickly. You're kind of putting your trust in people that you don't know if you can trust, really. Racers want to get the win, and they'll leave you out to dry if they have to. Now, if they see a benefit, they'll, of course, go with you, but it'll be something that we'll have to see as the race goes on. Who will work with who, even if they aren't teammates here?
Yeah, everybody's a friend until the last lap. As we're on lap 33 out of 100, and so far we've seen two wide racing, and we've now seen the single file as they're coming up on the 00 of Vernon Reese. He's going to keep it to the outside, going to let this lead car pack pass him, being nice and cautious for these leaders, which is always a good thing to see. But for me, if I'm running second and I got a chance to win this thing, I'm going to try to make a move on that person. But you also got to keep in mind, if you're already on the back bumper of somebody, you want to keep watching your engine temps, because your engine could blow while you're trying to make the run, or you won't even have the significant power to make that run for the checkered flag.
Yeah, you can make it. I believe these engines start to go, if you can clear me up on this, I believe they start to flash at 290, if I'm correct.
Yeah, 285, 290 right in there, and then at 310, your motor is kaput. It's just, it went up to space, not coming back, and it's flying around up there in the atmosphere.
Yeah, so, but if it does come down to it, you can run hot for about 2 laps if you really got to push that driver, but you definitely don't want to be doing it for too long, as I've surprisingly never had an issue with overheating in a fixed race. I have no idea. Well, actually, I have no idea how, but I've been very lucky to not have that. But I've definitely saw some people just be shoving the whole entire time, and the engine will just expire out of nowhere, and then that will make a big mess for these guys behind them. They'll have to be very careful about that, but luckily they should have time to rack if that does happen. But they're keeping pretty good space between them and the car in front of them, so I think they're getting pretty decent airflow, not having to worry about overheating just yet right now.
Exactly, and especially if we get back to 2 to 3 wide racing, and they're front to back up as a top 3 end up going down pit road. Yeah, top 4. My apologies there.
We've got 2 other joiners. We got Bourne and Rodriguez and Kenny come down.
So there's going to be your big pack right here. So you got a pack of 7 cars. If they can all time this pit stop correctly, you could have 7 cars, but now you got at least 13 cars that still have to pit. So we're going to see no, my mistake, 9 cars out there on track right now. So there might be pitting within 1 to 2 laps here. And we're going to see a 7-car pack, and we're going to see a 9-car pack, and we're going to see which one is more dominant.
Like everybody just took fuel only. 71 actually beats them out. So he had a little bit of a better pit stop, but we'll see if these guys that didn't pit come down this time. I think they will. We'll have to see. Currently, I'll pull up a track map so you can see who. And, they're going to stay out this time, so they're going to try to catch this pack. Maybe put them a lap down. I don't think they'll be able to, because they'll coming off the corner here. I think they'll be just ahead of him. Roos, you see him come around. He's lost touch also. Kenny, he was losing touch too with this pack, as he's gotten closer to Rodriguez, but not exactly with him. See, Woods is just trying to make some laps there. His car is basically ready for the dumpster after this race. I think he'll put it in the scrapyard and have that thing crushed, because I would not want to take that vehicle home. I might even leave it at the track if I was him.
Yeah, put it up on Craigslist. Say, hey, it's for sale. It ran at Talladega, got into a little bit of a scrapage here, but if you notice on this lead pack, Vernon Reese is running the outside. They just went 3 wide to go past the number 60 of Zack Woods, and now here comes all the leaders. They're exactly what I was talking about, fanning out, giving everybody space, and Robert Lawrence is going to lead everybody into pit road, going to lock them up, but not spin out. So good pit entry by everybody there. Nobody hit each other, and exactly what I was explaining. They all fanned out, gave each other room, and that's exquisite play track, getting into pit road by any means.
It looks like Roberge in the 88 about missed his pits. Roberge did miss his pits, had to back up, so he's going to be broken up from this pack. 88 came very, very close to missing it. Maybe just wasn't able to see his pit stall. Actually is able to salvage something. Roberge might not get a bad exit. It looks like he actually might be able to stay in touch with these guys also. I believe it will be Bowen who leads them off. Nope, sorry, Lawrence will lead them off here. Have to see, can this second group come and catch him? I believe they will. So they'll go right by these guys. So they'll get the lead. So pitting earlier has shown to work now for them, is they might not be able to get around Robert Lawrence because Robert Lawrence is way out there, but he's going to have no help. So he's going to try to get up in front of these guys, but they're just going to run right around him. I'd say I don't think they're going to pick him up at all. Yep. They're just going to go right around him. 4 vehicles. Lawrence has to wait for Bowen to get to him. Gardner is going to have to get to Bowen. Oh, Noah has the 71 or 17 of James Silver shoving him. You have the 3-car pack here as they're coming with some speed. The 57, 10, and 16 go right to the outside. They'll blow by these guys. Like, they kind of hurt themselves on the pit exit, but being 3 vehicles, they know that they can shove each other pretty well. Looks like the 88 may have a black flag, if I had to guess, for going in the pits like that.
Yeah, not sure exactly what happened to the number 88 of Noah Owens, but making a unscheduled pit stop here, that's going to hurt his chances until a caution does come out to get back up on with everybody, as the 34 made another pit stop there, so he might have a black flag as well. Not sure exactly what's going on, but you had 7 cars pit with the 57, the 10, the 16, the 99, and the top 4 all pitting together, but now you got the 57, 10, and 16 running their own race back here in 7th, 8th, and 9th. And then you got Wally Babb, Dalton McKinney, Scroggins, and Facinato. They're all up there by themselves. So I'm not sure exactly if that was a good team play by the team of Tom Bourne, Robert Kennedy, and Matthew Rodriguez just to fall back and let those guys run up front and we just stay back here to save fuel. Or if they're just trying to just get laps in and just be happy.
We'll have to see. Can Bowen hold on to the 16 of Bourne? I believe he will, because Bourne doesn't have the best car right now. It's definitely beat up, but Woods has had a worse night than him. But they're going to actually have to go around Woods. So it looks like Bourne is able to keep on to the bump of the 16. So this is going to turn from a 3-car pack to a 5-car pack now, as Gartner's just hanging on to Bowen. He's got the draft from him. So maybe these guys can go and catch him. It's going to be 4 versus 5. They should have the numbers, but they are pretty far behind. Some pretty close to 6 seconds. So if they do make it up front, it'll be very, very slowly here for these guys in the second pack.
Oh yeah, for sure. And if they all keep it in a straight line, don't try to pass it. Anybody, just draft the way that you are right now. That could play a big role, because they don't know really what's going on with the front pack unless they can see everybody and see what they're doing. As they're going to pick up Chris Roos, so that's going to be a 6-car pack here. Actually, they're going to go around him on the outside, and Chris Roos is going to have to go behind Kyle Gardner as they all get ready to be single file again. So now you got a 6-car pack up against a 5-car pack, and now it's really going to be interesting to see what this 6-car pack can do.
Saw Justin Ray in the pits, but Roos, he's definitely going to try to hold on to Gardner's bumpers. I think he's got it. Gardner's trying to kind of run in the middle, keep the draft of Bowen, but also pick up Reese. Reese is a lap down. I believe he may be first car a lap down here. So if the caution does come out, he will get the lucky dog. McKinney has only lost 1 position. He's just kind of swapped with Wally Babb pretty much. He's been pretty calm. You see Robert Lawrence lurking in the background with Mike Salmanowski. These guys came down pit road on lap 37-30. I believe one of them had to serve a penalty, if I'm correct. I believe it was the 34 who did.
Yes, sir. He came down right after he pit, so I wonder if he got an unsafe pit entry or if he sped coming out of pit road. That could really be detrimental to the rest of this outcome of the race.
Now that I do recall, that was the 34. He was the one that locked them up. Maybe was just trying to get in there super deep, and I believe he just got too fast on entry, as you can kind of get away with it if you give up a lot of time after that, but he was just way too fast. But Rodriguez is, he's actually losing time to Conchinato here. About 6 seconds behind now. He's got 6 vehicles left on. I said 4. He's got 6 people with him, but just not able to make up the time right now. As this group up here in front of them, they have, that's Lawrence. Yes, that is Lawrence. Their bumper also has to kind of bail out. Looks like something happened with the 88 there. Might be tucking in behind these guys, trying to get around him there quickly.
Yeah, I believe the 88 had to do that drive-through there too, so he's going to be helping out anybody he possibly can. And with the now 4-car breakaway of the top 4 of Wally Babb, Dalton McKinney, Scroggins, Facinato, and just those 4 breaking away, but back behind them, you have the 34 Robert Lawrence and Mike Sabanovsky. So if those two can get linked up with the top 4, it'll be a 6-on-6 car battle, and we could see possibly 2 wide racing again, or maybe it'll just be a straight 12 car breakaway.
I know that Rodriguez right now, seeing these lap cars in front of him might not necessarily be a bad thing. That's just more drafting partners at this point. So he probably does want to see these guys kind of fall a little bit back to him here. I don't think they're going to do it just yet because he's going to have to catch him as he's just continuing to lose time. It went from 5 to 7 seconds back. He's going to see if that was the 88 up there in this group. So he's definitely trying to catch him. He wants to get to the 88's bumper, to the 22s and the 34s, because that'll be 3 more vehicles to help. I believe some of these guys might have to kind of have to jump them on a pit stop to be able to get equal with them because it didn't really work for him here.
Yeah, I actually went back to see exactly how they were running, and when I looked back there, Tom Bourne was running the outside. Not sure if he just wanted to go to the back due to his damage or not, but that's going to take a little bit more time off of what they need to be making up for. But going down the backstretch, that number 52 of Bowen, he was right on that back bumper of the number 57 of Matthew Rodriguez. Got him a little bit loose going down the backstretch, so maybe you kind of want to calm down, just take your time, get back up to the front of the pack, and then that's when you kind of want to hit that go button. But so far, they're still single file. Nobody's really making any moves, and now they're going to pick up the number 6 of Chris Wheeler.
Yes, hold on. Now we'll actually... Looks like we have Ricky Gonzalez. He's in the waiting room for some odd reason. Are you trying to... Is he trying to join us also here?
I'm not sure.
Let me ask him here. I'm kind of confused. I know I don't get Discord notifications where it enables streamer mode. He texted me only 4 minutes ago. I have to see.
All right. Yeah, well, while he's doing that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and give you a little bit of a rundown here. The 57 and the 52 are still running right behind each other. The number 10 kind of ducked out from behind the number 16, probably to get a little bit of a clean air on that front of that Toyota Camry. But still up front, it is the number 99 of Wally Babb from Threat Level Mid Motorsports, as the 46 of Dalton McKinney, Devin Scroggins, and Rylan Facinato are still trying to get past that 99 and get that ultimate lap led, as Wally Babb has had control of it ever since that secondary pit stop. But so far, it's all Chevys in the top 4, and behind them is a couple of Fords and a couple of Toyotas. So you got a big mix of cars out here on track, and we're definitely going to see exactly what's going to happen here as they are on lap 47 out of 100. So we're definitely going to see exactly what happens with the draft, how it's going to affect everybody, and see exactly when another pit stop will cycle through for our top 4 leaders.
Looks like he kind of thought that waiting room was for Xfinity when it is not, so I believe that needs to be labeled just a little bit better. He was a little bit confused. That's what I originally thought, but he was in there luckily for only 4 minutes and have to wait there forever. But Babb McKinney still running pretty calm up here, 71, 69 are probably fine with doing what they're doing right now. I don't think they really have any qualms with what they're having to do currently. They're going to run up on Vernon Reese again. Vernon's going to go another lap down here. Roos has had a tough night, but he's managed to come with the pack, about coming to halfway here in the race. So I think we'll have to at least do 2 more pit stops here as these guys pitted on lap. Yep, they actually did roughly about 25 laps on that tank of fuel that they had. So 2 more pit stops will probably come up for these guys in the race. Maybe 3. I think, yeah, actually, probably actually be 3 here. But if they're getting better fuel mileage, then that will change. I think they're getting actually a little bit worse than what they were before because they're so stretched out. But you see this line that Rodriguez has behind him. This is all help as Bowen can hook him there. He's got to be careful. Rodriguez came off the bottom.
Oh, there it is. Robert Lawrence almost just hooked the number 10. The 10 had to go to the outside. So that's going to not help their cases. Now the 10's going to drop back in line right behind the number 34 of Robert Lawrence. So just like you said, with a Ford having the flat bumper, you still got to be careful, especially with these Gen 6 cars. The bumpers or the rear bumpers aren't as flat as what the Fords would be. As we just seen there, the 34 almost hooked the number 10. As now the 10 can just ride behind the number 34 and see if they can't just catch this top 4 pack.
Yeah, they kind of had that incident there, but they got that sorted out very quickly. Lucky for them that they did, because that could have ended horribly for the 10 of Robert Kinney. He could have easily went around, but luckily he was able to save it here. But these guys up front starting to lose just a little bit of time to Rodriguez. Now Rodriguez has this group all running in a straight line. He's actually shaved off about 2/10 on that corner alone. So I think that they'll catch him maybe before they come down pit road. It's going to be up in the air, though, if they do. If they do, it will be very close. They might catch him. I'm not completely sure, though, here.
Yeah, it's going to be very close. I mean, they have about 8 to 9 cars in a line. The top 4 only have the 4 cars in a line. So you're definitely going to see a bigger difference in how much speed they can carry and how much time they can make up. But you also got to be careful of lap traffic when it comes back around. As just before I went back to Matthew Rodriguez, the top 4 had to pass the 00 Vernon Reese on the outside, and Vernon Reese got into the apron a little bit and shot up the track right in front of the 69. Had to move him out of line, but able to come back down in line and not lose the main draft.
It's like Rodriguez kind of evened out on time. This group up front actually ran faster than these guys in the back. They ran a 48.99 is what Wally Babb ran. Rodriguez ran a 49.12. So, yes, that's 49.12, making sure. So, looks like he gains and he loses. Maybe they can pick up Chris Wheeler. Wheeler will probably try to duck in behind these guys, possibly, as he's actually really slow on the top, so I don't think he's going to have a chance to. Looks like he may have some engine damage because he's going very, very slow here. He's not going to be able to hold on to the draft. That vehicle in front of him, but it's this 99 continues to lead. Kenny's in a good spot. Scroggins is in a good spot. Fontanato's in a good spot. And you got a huge gap to Rodriguez, and you kind of got guys that are lap down, all running together. Just trying to hope something happens so they can get back on the lead lap, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Currently, looks like Wheeler's back in pits, so it looks like he might have some engine damage that I just can't see. Might be down on some RPMs.
Yeah, these cars run idle at 2,000 RPM. So normally what I do, if I have any little bit of front end damage or any damage like that, as we get a little bit of a big shove from the number 52 on that number 57, but when I am under caution and I get into a little bit of a altercation on track with another fellow driver, not, being mean or anything like that, just I have nowhere to go, I always hit my clutch in to see exactly where my RPMs are, because 15 RPMs makes a big difference, especially at Talladega.
Yeah, one thing too, an announcement that Hubka made. Next season, they will be in the next gens, as I am in love with the next gens. The only thing I don't like is their gearbox, but you can beat on those vehicles a lot more, and it's really not so aerodynamic. You can kind of get away with a little engine damage here and there, so it'll definitely be fun to see these guys drive it. But those next gens are definitely, they can be a handful, but when you handle them, they are incredibly fun to drive. As I said earlier, not so aerodynamic. These Gen 6s rely on aerodynamics so heavily, it's ridiculous. The next gens, you can beat and bang off each other, and it doesn't matter. They're pretty durable. Only thing you got to really worry about in them is a toe link, which they've actually gotten stronger over time. They're pretty hard to break. You got to hit it. You got to hit it pretty square most of the time. But that may change how they race next season, being able to know that, I can get up into you, and even with the damage, you can still run up front.
Oh yeah, I actually picked up a league on Friday nights running the next gens, and with me, I haven't really done a lot of racing with the next gens. Bryce, you know me, I was a commentator over in the Core Racing League. You guys did the next gens. You were always up front, ended up, having some rough patches in and out with those next gens. But ever since the big updates with those next gens, they've actually gotten a little bit more better to drive, in my opinion. The gearbox, yes, I understand. I don't like the sequential either. I like using my H pattern. But hey, iRacing gives you what you got, and it's definitely going to be a lot of different style racing, as those cars kind of bottom out a little bit more than what these Gen 6 cars do. Yeah, but just like you said, they're more durable and they can take a beating. They're kind of like the 87 cars.
And one thing too with as I add on to you, No, I wasn't necessarily a fan. When they first came out, I was like, "You're going too sequential." As I drive a manual car in real life. I love driving manuals, and then I kind of grew to okay, like the sequential. It's still somewhat manual. Don't get me wrong. There's no H pattern in it, and the next gens definitely had a lot. You had to change because the steering is one big thing. The steering is incredibly responsive in those cars. It is so easy to overcorrect with them. I know that I talked to a builder. Now, one thing that they also have to deal with too is when you start to burn off fuel, the diffuser on the bottom will actually bounce and will make your car loose. And so that's another factor. One factor also, they have 5 gears in them. So tracks that you wouldn't normally be shifting at, you're now shifting. I know Richmond, you had a choice to shift. Martinsville, you may have a choice to shift there. There's tracks that drivers shift at now that they have never shifted at before just to keep that RPM in the power band in those next gens.
Yeah, the next gens, they did a terrific job on how they came out, and it is a little weird having 5 gears instead of 4. I know when I did an official in the next gens at Talladega, it was so weird. I was so used to being in 4th gear, and I'm redlining all the way down the front stretch and back stretch, and everybody's telling me, hey, go up to 5th gear. I forgot about 5th gear, and that actually helped me out. So that's going to be another thing that everybody's going to have to watch out for is don't just ride in 4th gear. You have an extra gear to play with.
As we've been talking about the next gen, Rodriguez has shaved off almost a second to Fortunato, so he's definitely been gaining times where they've got something worked out. Now, one thing that I could think that these guys up front are doing is they're lifting just a little bit to save a little bit more fuel because they're running 49-34, and Rodriguez, Bowen, Gartner, Bourne, Kenny, Silvers, and Roberge are all running 48-8s pretty much back here. So they are definitely catching this pack up front as they actually shaved off a lot of time that lap to Fortunato.
Yeah, I actually just went back there, and it looks like Kyle Gartner ended up getting around the number 34, the 14, and the 16, so move him up behind the number 52. Now, how aggressive do you want to be to hurry up and catch this lead pack, or do you just want to keep doing what you're doing, wait till pit stops, and then that's when you turn on the afterburners, as the 52 is all over the back bumper of that number 57. Got to be careful. He's kind of bobbing and weaving going into the corner. He's not really lifting. He's going to move up a little bit, and that's going to kill a little bit of his run. But now it looks like the 16, he's going to try to make it move to the outside. He's going to drop back down low. And now Kyle Gartner is trying to make a move on that number 52 machine.
Yeah, I think, maybe coming up on pit stops here soon. And if you know you're coming up on pit stops, pretty much just tie a brick to your foot, put it on the gas pedal, and just let that thing go. Because you're going to be coming down pit road to get fuel. Might as well see how much time you can make up on these guys in front of you. I mean, you got nothing to lose when you know you're going to pit the next lap. Looks like they're going to go around 17 in the 80 or the 98 of Roberge. This is the 7 of Justin Ray on the top. Those guys have not had the good. Oh, that was almost bad. Thought the 17 was going to hit the 7 there. Has to jerk his wheel down there. It was almost terrible. I thought they were going to make contact.
Yeah, I wasn't able to get the quickness of going through SDK to find that incident, but they're still running fairly clean here. It looks like the top 4 are still in the same spots as they were, but they picked up 2 more cars. So that's going to help them out just a little bit more. But like you said just a little bit ago, they have taken that lead of Matthew Rodriguez. Sorry about that. Has cut that lead down from 7 seconds down to 4. So you're looking about right at pit stop time. If they keep making up a 10th of a lap, right about pit stops, they all should be going in right at the same time.
Yeah, they have definitely started to catch this pack up front. I think they decided, man, we're losing so much time up here. What are we doing?
As the top 4 go into pit lane, the 17 almost hits the 71. He's got to bounce back up track, and they're in pit road.
Somebody got in deep. Bowen got in way too deep there. He loops around in front of them. Just try to get in deep. You saw him.
Oh, Robert Kenny just smacked the number 52. That's going to probably end his night for being really quick and having that clean car. not where you want to have your mistakes, as that's going to cost him a little bit of a repair damage in the pit road.
Bowen tried to Happy Gilmore in there pretty much. Just sent it as far as he could. You saw him heavy on the brakes there. But let's see where these guys come out. That definitely slowed up cars behind Bowen because they had to pretty much slow up for that wreck in front of them. Looks like kind of come out in a group. Looks like 71 got a little bit looser. A little bit tail happy. We'll see where Bowen comes out. Bowen's in pit road. He was lucky to get hit on the door, not in the front end. But that's still going to be catastrophic for some of these drivers. McKinney's pretty far out from Bab. Looks like that pit did not end up bad for some of them. Kind of definitely broke up this pack, sadly. But Rodriguez, I think he may be able to keep. He's actually lost Gartner just now. He's got to hope that 71 can get to him. 34 might want to back up to him so he can get to the draft just a little bit better. But didn't pay. What? Actually, can't even say it didn't pay off. No, it didn't work out what Rodriguez would want it, but it definitely didn't work out terrible for him. We'll have to see if they can get back up in the group. But they've already gotten almost a 5-second lead on Gartner here, just being 3 vehicles, a 99, the 46, and the 69 up front.
Yeah, 46 beat Wally Babb and the 69 out of pit road, but really quick, you just seen how quick a 2-car draft can catch a 1-car draft as Wally Babb retains the lead. So move the 99 from second back up to first. And now these 3 are going to be working together. And now we're going to see what Kyle Gartner and company can do and see if they can get right back up to this lead pack.
Drivers do got to keep in mind that you have at least one more pit stop as these guys came down on lap 38. They just pitted on lap 61, so they went a little bit less than 30 laps on fuel, so they definitely have one pit stop left in them. As you know, if you're Rodriguez, do you try to short pit these guys up front as soon as you're on your window? Do you go down pit road and top it off?
That's going to be a tough question. You got to have a lot of people with you to make that work. Undercuts do work. It's been proven. I've lost many races to undercuts on pit road. You know, a lot of people want to run it dry, but you also have the chance of, okay, if you run it dry but nobody else wants to run it dry, you could be out there by yourself while everybody else is on fresh stuff, and then you finally make your pit stop, and then, you know, you're kind of SOL as the race goes on. So now you kind of want to back it up just a little bit, see what other people want to do, and keep that in your back. Keep that in the back of your mind. Okay, undercut, what lap? When are we going in? Count it down for everybody that's following you in if they're all in the same Discord channel.
I think when you get on it, I mean, Rodriguez, he's catching Fonchinato, though, so he might want to stay out because he definitely has numbers behind him. I believe he has close to 8 cars drafting off of him, so he's definitely got people that he can get help from here. But he doesn't have the best pusher. That is not saying that the 71 is a bad pusher. I'm saying the front end is not a good place to push because he's in a Chevy, so that front end is pointed. It's incredibly easy to hook a driver with the Chevys. He's wiggling around there trying to stay right behind Rodriguez. You see Wheeler. He is very slow in the bottom. He must have a engine issue or something that's happening with him here.
Yeah, not sure exactly what's going on with Chris Wheeler. He's about at pit road speed. Not going to be a good night for the number 6 machine, as he may have to tow it, put it back into pit lane, fix the optional or required damage, and see if he can get back out here and finish the race. But kind of going back to what you were saying about that bobbing and weaving, that's what you don't want to do, especially when you're right up on the back bumper of the leader or whoever you're following. And he had to back it up just a little bit, and Robert Lawrence actually gave him a pretty big shove, got the 50 or the 71 loose, and that kind of created a little bit of an accordion effect going back down the line. But as you can see here, going down the backstretch, the 71 is right back on that back bumper of the number 57 of Matthew Rodriguez.
He's trying to get something going there. They're going to run up. Oh, looks like the leader's going to run up on some lap vehicles here. That's the 10 of Robert Kinney, who got some damage. They run up on the 22 and the 14 of Roos. So drivers definitely had a tough night. Wally's trying to stay behind these guys for as long as he can and tuck out at the last second because he wants to get as much of a draft as possible, but he's trying to make it work. Looks like he's got some rear end damage. It looks like he's probably gotten hit a little bit too many times on that rear end from probably McKinney trying to give him a shove. It doesn't seem to be too bad, luckily, but Rodriguez looks like he's kind of stalled out with the times for these top 3. He's running a 49.19 Fontanado ran a 49.26, so still gaining, but ever so slow. Looks like Wheeler crashed. Let's see what happens here. Looks like he might have just stopped on track.
Yeah, looking at it right now, he's just limping it back in, trying to take care of that motor. Not sure exactly what happened to Chris Wheeler, but not really what you want to see, especially at a plate track. You know, you have high expectations, but kind of low expectations because you know the big one's going to happen, but when and where is it going to happen? And you want to make sure that you have a little bit of a gap between you and the next driver or drivers to navigate your way through. And, you know, looking at this track, it looks wide, but Bryce, I'm pretty sure you can attest to this. When they're all wrecking, that track looks like Bristol when there's a big pileup.
Yeah, and you would think, you know, especially at this track, you'd think, okay, with the bankings, everybody is going to wash down. That's not the case. Drivers will wash back up on track right in front of your way, and you have nowhere to go. It comes from a super wide track to being a one-lane track very, very quickly. Wrecks are incredibly hard to avoid here at Talladega, surprisingly.
Oh, yeah. My first, like, if let's say I'm the 57 and I'm right up on somebody, or possibly even Kyle Gardner, for example, since he's got people in front of him. If they start wrecking in front of me, I'm diving it below the yellow line and I'm getting down as close to that inside wall as I possibly can if there's not grass in front of me. If there's grass in front of me, obviously you want to stay on the asphalt so that way you don't get a little bit loose. But right there, I just seen the 57 almost got hooked by the number 71. He kind of moved up the track, and the 34 of Robert Lawrence gave the 71 a big push going down the backstretch, and that almost ended in a disaster for the Matthew Rodriguez.
You got to be very careful with how you shove. You would think that, okay, I can just lay it on you, but not really, because that gets the car very loose. I do so many truck races here. It looks like that was bone on the bottom.
Yeah, he got a little bit loose going through that tri-oval. Just wanted to hurry up, get out of the way, as that almost ended badly. You don't really want to have half your car on the track and half of your car down on the apron. That kind of upsets the rear end, and one tire may not be touching the ground at all, and that could really send you into a loop, as that could have been a devastating blow to these top 4 through 10 drivers.
Yeah, definitely. Not something that people want to see, you know, and bringing up this now, a caution at this point, this changes everything because you're on the edge of your fuel window. So if one were to come out, everybody's coming down pit road, but you may not have enough for green, white, checkered if it does come down, and that looks like somebody's smoking on pit road. I'm not sure who that was. So you kind of got drivers that are lap down. Their hopes are kind of dashed at this point. I don't think they have any hope left, but Rodriguez, he's gaining on Fontanado. Now, they did pick up these lap cars of Roos and Sabanowski, so they'll be a little bit faster than what they were. But Rodriguez, he's just been chipping away at that lead that these top 3 have this whole time.
Yeah, that's something to always keep in mind of how much time they're making up. And if there were to be a caution right now, you're just inside your fuel window. Me personally, if a caution did come out and I did go in to, you know, top off on fuel, get a fresh set of tires, because I haven't seen anybody take tires this whole race yet. So, you know, that wear might be getting a little bit too hot. You could get a little bit loose or even wheel spin coming to the green flag. But if a caution came out, I'm putting the car in 4th gear and I'm barely going to hit the gas. I'm going to just save as much fuel as I possibly can, because if a green, white checker comes out and you're not saving, you might have to go back into pit road and you're going to lose all that time that you made up and have to essentially work your way through the field and do dangerous moves, as you could see 3 to 4 wide possibly.
And I'm always a driver when I run A opens. No, not at this track it wouldn't come into play, but I'm somebody, as soon as we come off pit road, even before we take the white flag or the green flag to start the race, I'm saving fuel. The reason I'm doing that is because I want to stay out just a little bit longer so I can have better tires, and I'm more of a long run driver. I'm not a short run driver, as I try to drive the wheels off everything that sometimes will come out and get me. But as you said earlier, caution comes out, the 46 is getting moved around from the 69. We're talking about that. You saw him have to wiggle that. 69 of Rylan Fontanado is all over McKinney, giving him a huge shove. That's going to go to Bab. Oh, this is going to get bad maybe. Looks like they're really trying to get it going up here. They got a huge shove, but Rodriguez, he is lurking. He is gaining every single lap on these top 3. It's very slow, but he's growing ever so bigger, and that mirror and that spotter's saying, hey, you got the 57 catching you now. He's going to be coming within, I say it might take him 15 laps to get under 2 seconds. So Rodriguez, if he gets in with striking distance, he could short pit, and it could actually work out for him, as they're going to have 26 to go when they come to the line here.
Yeah, you see the top 3 ended up picking up 3 more lap cars, possibly going to be 4, as they're going to go around the number 17. So you're going to have 7 cars, and then you're going to have 9 cars, or even 8 cars. So you're definitely going to see it kind of even out now, as they're picking up more cars, and the guys in the back, starting with Matthew Rodriguez, they don't have any lap traffic that they can pick up. Excuse me. As this race goes on, you're definitely going to start thinking, okay, undercut, fill it with just enough that I think that I would need, even with a green-white checker. You don't want to fill the car completely. You just want to make sure you have enough to do a green-white checkered, or 2 if there is one.
Now, drivers, today they're pretty lucky that there is a program called Crew Chief and other ones that you can say, hey, Chief, fill me to the end, and he'll fill you on what the estimates are. I use that, but I always... No, good. Just go one more click to the right, get a little extra gallon or 2 in the vehicle. So drivers are probably asking, hey, Chiefs, how's my fuel? And if he's saying you got this much left, he's saying, all right, fuel me to the end. That's what those drivers are telling him to do. But just get enough fuel to make it. You probably won't take tires. Now, if you're taking a good amount of fuel, you maybe have time to take right side tires, but I don't see anybody taking tires here this late in the race, because that can definitely hurt you.
Yeah, so right now, if I was Wally Babb, I'd be talking to Rylan, as their 2 teammates. I'd be talking to him like, hey, what do you want to do? Tires, no tires, just fuel. Let's just get what we can. As you see there, Wally Babb's got a little bit of right rear damage on that wing. So you're definitely going to see a little bit of a hiccup on that number 99. But you see Rylan, he's trying to ride the outside, get his car cooled down just a little bit more than what the other guys are running, especially with Dalton McKinney. He's right on that back bumper of the number 99. And then you got Chris Roos behind him, then Sabanowski, Vernon Reese, and then the 17 of Silvers. So, and now they're going around Bowen here on the inside and going into turn number 1. So now it's going to be that time. Okay, guys, look, fuel only. Let's just hurry up, get out here, get back out on track, and just let's run our race. Don't worry about passing each other. Don't worry about going too wide. Because the more you go too wide, the more Matthew Rodriguez and company are going to catch you.
And as we were talking about that, Rodriguez continued to shave it off. He's gotten it under 3 seconds. He's running a 49.23. These guys are not that far off pace up front. They ran a 49.37. So Rodriguez, he's been very consistent, just chipping away, realizes this is going to take a while for me to catch these guys, or at least have a chance to just touch them up there. I think he knows that now. He knows that, okay, I can't get these guys all at once. It's going to take me a little bit, but he's been doing very good as he's shaved off a lot of time out of nowhere. I was just talking about him being under 3. It's about under 2 now.
Yeah, that top pack ended up moving from the inside line up to the top side. Not sure exactly what the strategy is here for that. Maybe kind of to break the draft, as Matthew Rodriguez is now under 2 seconds. So now you're definitely going to see 2 wide racing. Now, if you're the lead pack, do you want the second pack that's catching you on the outside, or do you want them on the inside?
I mean, I don't know, because they're already going, so slow right now, as they're really catching them. I think they might catch Vernon Reese's, or not Vernon Reese's, the 17 of James Silver's draft here very soon. And that's going to bring this group into play now, as I think he's got it. I think he has the draft of the 17 now. So this is going to change everything. Who is going to come down pit road first? Who's going to play the mind games? Because you have to come down. You cannot stay out for 40 laps of this track. as he's getting a huge run from Silver. He's going to go to the outside of him now. He's going to try to drag this pack with him. Reese goes up. He goes right back down. He realizes, man, why are you trying to race me? But that broke up this pack now. Rodriguez, he's trying to bring the 71 and the 34. 71 is on the lead lap. The 34 is not. But they have a massive run on this pack. They're going to try to get third from Ryland. They've lost vehicles, though. They need to get more people to work with them. They're just not getting it right now.
And now look at Ryland. Ryland's going to move up the track, and now they're going to be 3 wide going down the backstretch. Ryland gets into the number 14, but that's going to allow the number 71 to get around him as they got the number 7 and the number 10 of Robert Kenny. Now, as soon as Matthew Rodriguez and all those guys caught the lead pack, it's like that lead pack kind of dispersed. They just moved out of the way. They didn't want to run single file anymore. They wanted to make it interesting. And here comes Matthew Rodriguez. So here comes that backpack. They're going to go in, and Matthew Rodriguez might have a speeding penalty. As I just seen, he had his front tires locked up. Not what you want to do, because this is the money stop. This is the stop that's going to count. You got to get in. You got to get out as cleanly as you possibly could. And that might just be the tone of the rest of this race for the number 57 car.
Yeah, you saw him incredibly deep, smoking the tires, trying to slow down as fast as he could there. So we'll have to see. Did he get a speeding penalty? He'll probably serve it the next lap if he did. We'll just have to see what happens here.
Yeah, here comes the next top pack. Wally Babb actually going to give the lead up to the 46. 46 is going to go in a little bit deeper as, the 88's going to spin it into pit road. Not going to hit the wall, though, so good driving by the number 88 just to lock him up, turn the wheel back straight as the top pack now is in pit road. But you got a big gap between this pack and the pack of Matthew Rodriguez. So now the question is, are we going to see Matthew come back in, or did he not? Oh, he actually just got out of pit road, so not exactly sure. I'm pretty sure he had a hold, and now he doesn't have to serve that black flag. So that's going to put a little bit of a dampening on the number 57.
Yeah, he had pretty much the race in his hands. Just try to get in too deep. Got a little bit too greedy there. Just came around and nipped them. But the 71, he's got this 22. It's really only him out there right now. I believe the 71. Yep, he came down lap 80. But they're not going to be able to catch McKinney, but it's going to bring him within striking distance. You see the 34, 10, and 16. Those guys are all a lap down trying to get back on the lead lap. Hopefully something happens. But McKinney, he's out here all alone. He's going to try to probably latch onto the rear end of this group. Let them go around him, as Gartner, he could come into frame here very soon. As you see the 99 of Bav, Fontanado, and Roos running up on them. So
actually, the 16 is on the lead lap because I'm showing the 16 as the race leader right now.
I'm not sure how he got back. Yep, he is on the lead lap. So the front end damage doesn't seem to be affecting him too bad here somehow. I did not think he was, but McKinney, he's latched onto him as the 16 is definitely slower, so it's definitely helped him get onto him. But he's got the 99 of Wally Babb. He's trying to get help from the 69 of Ryland Fontanado. They're inside 20 to go. Gartner has his teammate Roos to the outside. Roos will probably, he ducks right behind Gartner. He'll try to help him here. Good.
Yeah,
teammates working with teammates right now.
Not sure exactly what happened, but the 46 and the 49 beat the 99 and the 69 out of pit road. But with the 46 and 49 being so separate from each other, that allowed the number 99 and 69 to get around the 49. And now we got a little 4-car breakaway here, and then you got Tom Bourne and company up in front of them. So we're definitely going to see a good battle for the lead with, it looks about 16 laps or 18 laps to go.
Drivers are going to, I think you'll see moves made within, you'll see drivers start to move around within 10. They're going to catch the 52 of Bowen there for just a second. But Bourne able to hold a lead. Kenny's right behind him, though. He's got him breathing down his neck, as you see. Babb, Fontanado, Gartner, and Roos, they're going to try to catch this pack up here. They're not too far behind. The 16's definitely going to be slowing them down. They got 2 cars with damage up here. The 10 has damage. The 16 has damage. The 34 doesn't have damage, so he's been able to cut the air. As Rodriguez, he's probably going to go a lap down here as he kind of threw away his race speeding in the pits. He did win last week, but that wasn't the win that he wanted. You could tell in his voice that he was pretty much defeated in how he won that race. Didn't win it the way that he wanted to, but he kind of had a chance tonight and just sadly got in pit road just too fast. Couldn't get it slowed down in time.
Oh yeah, definitely. With that being your money stop, that's the only pit stop that counts. That's the one that you want everything to go right. Every other pit stop, sure, fine, give me something, you know. But with it being the money stop, that's not definitely what you wanted to see. So that's a big upset for the number 57 as he just went a one lap down. But I'm thinking maybe if these guys can stay grouped up exactly how they are, I don't think Wally Babb, Kyle Gardner, and Devin Scroggins might not have a chance to catch this lead pack, even though this lead pack does have 2 injured cars leading them around.
Have to see. They're going to have to start shoving each other pretty hard if they're going to get there. They've only got 15 laps to do it. They got to shave off a little bit more than 2 seconds, so it'll definitely be difficult. But if they can catch the draft of Rodriguez, they can definitely do it in 6-9. It's not helping them with that. They're going to lose a little bit of time because of that. But I think that this group up here is pretty much set in stone. It's going to be hard to catch them, as it's going to be a 5 versus, let me see how many trucks have. Or not trucks, vehicles. It's pretty much a 5 versus 4. I just don't think that they can catch them, as they're actually starting to lose time here on them now.
Yeah, and you know, I don't know about you, but if I was Tom Bourne, I'd be really nervous right now because you have, let's see here, you have exactly Robert Lawrence, who's a lap down. You have the 10 of McKinney, or not McKinney, of Robert Kenny a lap down, and then behind the 46 you have Matthew Rodriguez a lap down. So you got 3 lap down cars working with the leaders. That could spell disaster if you aren't really careful, as it looks like Matthew Rodriguez and McKinney were thinking about going to the outside. McKinney didn't want to fall for it and then end up losing the draft, and that's what you don't want to do, is have that 57 right behind that 16, because those 2 are teammates. The 57 will go with the 16 no matter what it is.
They've got 3 teammates, the 16, the 10, the 57. McKinney's in a weird spot. He's basically got nobody to work with here. He's kind of like, so what do we do here? And it's going to be hard. I don't think he's going to be able to make a move, because Rodriguez, Rodriguez is not going to go with him. He's not going to abandon his teammate like that. So McKinney's in a very hard spot right now.
Exactly, and that's just what I was talking about earlier. You know, you want your teammate behind you. As you know, his closest teammate is Kyle Gardner, and Kyle Gardner's back here with the second pack with Chris Ruse, Wally Babb, and Rylan Facinato. So he's really wanting to have that second group catch up to them, so that way McKinney does have a chance at this win, because you know exactly what's going to happen. He's going to set up the run going into 3. He's going to back off the throttle a little bit, get a little bit of a gap between him and the 16. And by the end of corner number 4, coming to the checkered flag, he's going to have a good enough run. He's going to either bounce to the outside or the inside, depending on whichever way he wants to go. And then you're going to have one hell of a drag race going down the front stretch.
Drivers that came down pit road, not a factor though. Pretty much cars that called this race are like, yeah, I've got no chance, and guess I probably need to top off, maybe hoping for a caution, but the 99 got really loose there. But well, I think they're gaining a little bit of time on these guys up front maybe here. They might be picking up the 7. I think the 7's just out of the draft with them. Yep, he's just out of the draft with these guys up here. So maybe they can pick him up pretty soon. It's not going to be enough, I think, to be able to get him, as they shaved off 2/10 that lap as I say that. So these guys are definitely giving it their all right now here.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. Kyle Gardner took it down from 2.8. Now it's down to 2.4. So maybe those 2 injured cars with Tom Bourne and Robert Kenny, that might be hurting him, as if I was the 16 of Tom Bourne, I'd just stay behind him and let that lap traffic get in front of him. But with Dalton McKinney being up there, that's not really an option as of right now. But the lead has went down from 2.4 down to 2.3, and possibly going into turn 1, it's going to be down to, there it is. Before we even get out of the tri-oval, it's down to 2.1, and we might have a one good race here coming to the checkered flag.
It's like, I think the reason that it got so slow. Oh, we got almost contact between these two. That's going to really slow them down. This group behind is going to be a factor now. Gartner is going to become a full speed if he can catch. He just wants a little, he just wants to, sniff the draft of Robert Lawrence. If he can get a little bit of a sniff of it, he'll pull up right to him. That's going to be Kenny, who's going to get a draft from now. Maybe Kenny might be taking one for the team, trying to slow these guys down, make them go around him. We'll have to see what he does. Does he stay out of the way of them? Gartner's going to try to stay behind him for as long as he can. Let's see what Kenny does. If he throws a block here, we know that he did this on purpose. He doesn't. He lets these guys go. It's going to break them up just a little bit. Maybe that might have been a calculated strategy from them, as they're going to lose a little bit of time. They're going to get that sorted out incredibly quick. They make quick work of Kenny here. They're going to try to get the 34 of Robert Lawrence. Now they actually didn't lose much time. They actually gained some, but I think Gartner, he's got a draft from Lawrence now. Yep, he's got it. Inside 10 to go. Gartner has worked his way up. Just got a draft from him. Now, this is going to change a lot. It can be 2-on-2. Will McKinney jump up in front of Gartner? Will he stay on the bottom? Yep, he goes up just like I thought he would. That's going to leave two teammates on the bottom. And on the top, Bourne goes up to block.
Oh, he goes to block.
He can't get it in time. 3 wide now. That's going to drop Bourne to the back of this. McKinney saw his teammate and Gartner coming and said, "Oh, you're my savior," and jumped up right in front of him and gets the shove by. These guys are probably going to run that highlight. That is 3 Freedom Motorsports cars up in the top lane. McKinney, Gartner, Roos are all there. They all go back down to the bottom. Wally Babb's trying to make his way in there.
He tried, but the door's not open. But if you notice, the 16 was leading that group, and he had quite the damage on the front end, so that was kind of slowing him down. But with Gartner and company staying in the straight line, that was actually helping them get to that lead pack. And now you got Wally Babb and Ryland on the outside with the number 57, the 34, and the 16. So they're going to try to get a little bit free and see if they can't get back up here and salvage a good podium spot, as it looks like Wally Babb is your 3rd place. Ryland Facinato is 4th, and Tom Bourne is rounding out your top 5. So you got all top 5 competitors up here. And then Ruse, Robert Lawrence, and Matthew Rodriguez, those 3 are 1 lap down.
Kind of weird. You would think that there's only 6 cars on the lead lap right now, but now it gets even weirder. 3 teammates in a row. If Gartner makes a move, does Roos go with them? Or do they just decide, knowing Gartner, I don't think he would make an aggressive move, because I know that, I was leading Talladega last season, and I don't even talk about that restart. Oh my gosh, that was embarrassing. But Gartner, he was content with riding behind me. I told him, man, just shove me. He was like, yeah, I would like a league win, but he's like, I'll stay behind you, and he's content. So I don't see him doing anything that would put McKinney in a very weird position, because he is more of a team driver, and I do know that about him. That's something that he's always kind of stuck true to.
Well, he's a team driver when it conveniences him, as last season at National Super Speedway. He actually pushed me to the win a little bit over his teammate Christopher Tate last season. And, Kyle Gartner is always quick. You don't really see him until the last couple of laps. He's kind of like a ghost. He appears out of nowhere, but he's always there when it counts. He prides himself on keeping his car clean, and that's exactly what you're seeing here tonight. Like, there's not even a scratch on that number 49 Red Bull machine, as he's still right behind the number 46. But I'm thinking Gartner is in that no-ghost position, so if he wins this race, he gets a little bit of cash. Yeah. So would McKinney move over to let him get that, or is Gartner just going to ride behind McKinney and just finish 2nd place?
As I believe, I think McKinney may have a win this season. Let me check real quick. I've got to make sure on that. Let me just... These guys are going at it.
I think he won at Michigan.
No, that was actually Christopher Tate. I swear, I think McKinney has won a race. I just got to look here in the winner's circle if I can find it here. There's so much stuff in this Discord.
Well, as he's doing that, Chris Ruse is kind of trying to throw a little bit of a block on that number 99 of Wally Babb. That is your third place contender. So you got your top two of Dalton McKinney and Kyle Gardner, and then you got a lap traffic of Chris Ruse, and then you got two threat level midnight teammates of Wally Babb and Rylan Facinato. They're kind of rolling in there. They're going to try to make a move, but then right behind Rylan, you got the 16 of Tom Bourne. So you're going to see exactly what these guys want to do. With me, yes, I'm not racing this season as of right now, but my team that I'm on is threat level midnight. Whenever I do get a little bit of free time and able to come in, I will be running on their team for this season as I got drafted by them.
Oh, we got a crash. The 69's around.
The 69 goes around, but that's not going to bring out a caution as he is off the racing surface. So there goes Wally Babb's teammate.
Have to see real quick what happens. 69 gets off the bottom. Bourne tries to go under him, turns him, but they're racing up front. As I looked, McKinney does have a win this season. He won at Atlanta. That goes the 69's hopes and dreams down the drain right there out of nowhere. Bourne saw the opportunity and tried to take it, but Babb, now what does he do? Roos, he's not going to let Babb have it. He's going to make it hard on him, knowing that he's got his two teammates in front of him. He doesn't gain anything from going around these guys. This is going to get weird now. It's pretty much teammate on teammate. Maybe Babb can sneak up here. Bourne can maybe sneak up here. But Wally Babb, he is also a no-ghost driver tonight. So there's money in play for him also. And money can bring out the worst in people sometimes. You can make some drastic moves knowing that you got that on the line.
And look at Tom Bourne. He's going to try to thread the needle. He's going to move Wally Babb to the outside. He's going to be out there by himself. He gets to the back 14, able to save it, but that's going to move Wally Babb back into fourth place. Now he's got to hurry up, close the door on that number 57 as Wally Babb has lost the draft maybe from that top pack, but look at Tom Bourne. Tom Bourne with the heaviest damage out of this 8-car pack is right back up there. So now what does Robert Lawrence do? Yes, we're not on teams, but are you going to help Tom Bourne push to the victory?
They've got one more time around. They're going to come off the exit of 2. Pretty calm right now. Bourne has shown that I'll get under you if I have to do it. Uh-oh, he's got the 34 behind him, the 57. His teammate's also with him. This might come down to the wire. Will Gardner come up in front of it? Oh, Bourne goes around off the bumper of Rodriguez. Now it's going to be a race to the line between the teammates. Gardner goes outside. Kenny goes up a little bit. Gardner has money on the line. He wants to try to get it. Well, Roos, he needs to lay back right here, get a run from Roos. I think he's doing that now. Yep, he's timing it. Through the triangle, he's got Roos coming on his bumper.
Roos went with Kyle Gardner. He's got the win for the no-ghost Talladega race. Kyle Gardner will win Talladega tonight. And that was a textbook perfect move by Kyle Gardner to get his first win in Ghost.
I know we're going to have some kind of weird feelings between McKinney and Roos. Like, man, why didn't you shove me? Roos is kind of in a weird position. Who do I shove? They're both my teammates. What do you do at that point? But we'll go back to Tom Bourne when he got turned here. I believe he got too hard of a bump from Matthew Rodriguez. We'll go on a chase. See, yep, you can see, actually, that's Robert Lawrence on his bumper. Just hooks him ever so slightly, overcorrects it. Down it to Wally Babb. Wally's able to keep it straight. Looks like he goes through the grass. But Gardner comes home with the win. This is the first time I've seen Gardner get a league win. I know he has to be incredibly happy about this for sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I can just hear the excitement coming from the number 49 camp as this is his first Ghost League win. Last year, he had no wins. Could have had one at multiple tracks, but was not worried about getting the win. He just wanted to finish consistent, and that got him all the way to the Final Four. So that's a big congratulations to the number 49 team.
Yeah, I mean, he placed second in last year's standings. He was right on the bumper at Tate. He had fresher tires. Laps just ran out at Homestead, but he comes back with vengeance and wins here at Talladega on a last lap tri-oval pass. Edges out McKinney. Roos is probably going to be like, oh, they're going to both be, or one's going to be mad at me. I don't think McKinney's got to be too mad. He's saying that he does have a win on the season, but Gartner, he wins the no ghost on top of that. So that is a very, very good night for him.
Yeah, he little fun fact about me and Kyle, there's a team that me and him run on, kind of just us as guys that help each other out on iRacing. Same with a couple of people that we run with outside of Ghost. We formed a little bit of a team and we help each other. I got the win tonight in ECRC running the 87s, and Kyle doubles it back for another win in Ghost tonight. So that's a good team night for us outside of Ghost. So we're definitely going to see exactly how excited he is whenever we pull him into the booth.
I know he's got to be pretty happy about that. I'll pull up the finishing order here, and then we'll bring in the drivers along with this. See it right there at the top. So we'll bring in the 99 of Wally Babb here very quickly. Hey, Wally, this is Bryson Dillon in the booth. You got a copy, man?
I got a copy. What's up?
Man, so race was kind of difficult towards the end. You got shucked out from Tom Bohr and then couldn't get back in line. But, how did the race go for you from the drop of the green flag to the checker tonight, man?
It went a lot better than I expected. It was a good race. On that last lap right there on the backstretch when Tom went high, not sure who was with him. I got a run up to Dalton and Gartner and had it coming. I guess somebody got in Tom and Tom hit me and that kind of threw me out. But I'll settle with a third. I'm happy with a third.
Yeah, man. Looks like Tom, he got hooked by Robert ever so slightly, and he definitely did have a run, but this kind of didn't work out, but you still got a top 3 finish, so that is not a bad night overall. How do you feel about, your chances next week?
I like Watkins Glen. I had a good race last season. I think I had 1 or 0X, so it was a good run for me.
Yeah, man.
But it was a very interesting race. I'm congratulate Kyle. Wasn't he a no ghost this week?
Yes, you and him and Hubka and someone else was a no ghost driver this week.
Hickory, he didn't. My teammate was out tonight.
Yeah, man.
It was just me and Rylan and Vernon.
Yeah, man. But you come home third, still a good night. But before I let you go, does anybody want to thank anybody or any sponsors you want to shout that may have been watching the stream here tonight?
Oh yeah, all my the TLM team for everything. Jeff, he does a lot. Rylan for helping me. And I'll congratulate Dalton too and give him some credit because I run with him in other leagues and he's a good guy to run with. And for y'all for putting on a good broadcast.
All right, man. Well, I'll let you go with a good third place finish this week. Hopefully you can go up 2 spots next week at the Glen and take it home.
Thank you, sir.
That was Wally Babb. The third place driver had a rough finish, but we'll bring in Dalton McKinney here. Hey, Dalton, this is Dylan and Bryson Booth. You got a copy, man?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Man, so coming through the trial, boy, it was kind of a weird position. You had 2 teammates behind you. Roos chose the 49. But, how did the race go for you from the drop of the green flag to the checkered, and especially that last lap, really the last tri-oval?
Yeah, my goal was just to try to stay out front. I figured there'd be quite a few cautions, honestly, and I just kind of wanted to figured as far forward as I was, and that could stay in front of some of them wrecks. But it went pretty green, and then I was really glad that I got up there because I got a few good pit stops, and we got out to a few second lead, and we lost it there at the end. It's we had some lap cars that kind of messed it up, but other than that, it was good racing. I was happy for Kyle. I mean, I knew if he got to my outside, I wasn't gonna be able to defend it, and I definitely wasn't gonna wreck a teammate for a win or anything like that. So, and I figured Christian would go with him because of the no ghost. So I kind of assumed that would happen. No hard feelings there, obviously, and just happy for the team.
Yeah, man, great race overall. How do you feel about your chances next week at the Glen?
I've never run a road course before, so I'm either gonna have to practice a lot or call in sick. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah, man, I'm kind of an oval racer. I'm trying to learn road courses. I'm not terrible at them, but they're definitely a different type of breed to handle. But before I let you go, is there anybody you want to thank, any sponsors you want to shout that may have been watching the stream here tonight?
Yeah, my parents watch, my little sister, my cousin, little Joe, my buddy Sean, buddy Scott, everyone at Freedom Motorsports. Again, congrats on Kyle on the win. And even though Christian was a lap down, he still finished top 10 there with a 10th place finish. So Was happy to see a good run on the team, and Chris for putting this league on, and you guys for sitting in the broadcast booth. We drivers sure appreciate it.
All right, man. Well, I'll let you go. Hopefully, I see you in victory lane, moving up one spot at the Glen. But good luck next week, man.
Yes, sir. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
That was Dalton McKinney. He filled in for me last season when I didn't run the All-Star race, but we will bring in the race winner and Kyle Gartner. Hey, Kyle, this is Bryson Dillon in the booth. You got a copy, man? Did hear him talk. Believe he might walked away here very quickly. Hey, Kyle, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, dude. So coming through the tribal, you get Roos to help you. You're a no-ghost driver. You win. You basically won 2 times tonight, man. But, describe, coming through or coming out of 3 and 4 and coming through that tribal, what were your thoughts, knowing that it was the last lap and last chance you had to take home some money tonight, especially?
Well, the teammates, Roos and Dalton, I mean, to have one of them in front, one of them behind me, it made it a lot, well, I felt a lot safer with them guys around me. I knew no one was really going to turn me or anything like that. Roos, luckily, he stuck with me, and he was sticking with me pretty much all race. And if it wasn't for him pushing with me, we would have never caught that lead pack at the end to even give myself a chance. So, I mean, I definitely owe him a big thanks. And then Dalton, I mean, what can I say? I mean, he could have thrown a bigger block or, a big block, but I had a really good run, and, it pays off to have good teammates around you. So.
Yeah, man, it always doesn't it? I know Roos is kind of in a weird spot. He's like, do I just kind of leave out of here, or do I just just kind of hang back? But he chose to go with you. You bring home some money tonight, man. But how do you feel about your chances at the Glen next week?
It's funny because last year, I think we had like a 5-second lead on third place. It was me and Tate before the stage break, and then the stage break happened. There was an accident between him and Dylan, and I ended up getting wrapped up in it and still fought my way back to 4th. And honestly, before even tonight, I was saying, I think that's my only shot at finally getting my first win. But it ended up happening tonight. So hopefully I can make it back to back.
Yeah, man. Well, before I let you go, is anybody you want to thank, any sponsors you want to shout out that may have been watching the stream here tonight?
Well, I definitely want to thank Hupka for putting on the race. Definitely the No Ghost Challenge. I want to thank you guys for your broadcast. I want to thank my teammates. Honestly, if like I said, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have even been close to this. Yeah, like all the league sponsors, help me out here.
I don't even to be honest, I don't even think we have. I think this is all out of Hupka's pocket at this point right now.
Well, then Hupka Real Estate. How about that?
Oh yeah, if you need a house, hit up Hupka. Especially do it at what time did you call him, Dylan, last night or last season?
I called him at 11 o'clock my time, midnight his time.
Wait, are you? No, are you
I'm
on
Eastern.
the east? Oh, so that would have been 10 for him. So you can always hit him up. You can especially hit him up at 3 in the morning. He loves those calls. But Hupka Real Estate, he's always fun. Hupka actually had to leave the race. I'm not sure what happened with him, but good win tonight, Kyle. Hopefully, I can see you repeat at the Glen. But good luck, man.
Thank you, and just a real quick shout out. I wanted to thank my friends and family for tuning in. They were even talking to me before the race, and wishing me luck and stuff like that. So. Shout out to them too, and yeah, have a good night, guys.
All right, man. Well, that was Kyle Gartner. As I just had Roos hop in here, just commented Roos hits nothing all Dega. It's a miracle. Watkins Glen next week will be a different story. He can finally do his experiment he's doing in the Ghost League. How do you make the wall move? He's hit it with his front end so many times, and it just won't move for him. I made a list. Maybe he can do some more experiments. He needs to start doing that, but I'll run through the finish order here, and then I will get your thoughts on the race, Dylan. As it's Kyle Gartner first, Dalton McKinney second, Wally Babb third, Devin Scroggins fourth, Tom Bourne fifth, Rylan Fontenato sixth, Matthew Rodriguez seventh, Robert Lawrence eighth, Chris Roberts ninth, Christian Ruth, Ruth comes home 10th, Noah Owens 11th, 12th is James Silver, 13th Mike Salmanowski, 14th Robert Kinney, 15th Vernon Reese, 16th Jacob Bowen, 17th Justin Ray, 18th Chris Wheeler, 19th Chris Hupka, 20th, Zack Woods, as he did not have the night that he wanted. He could have been leading the points coming out of this race. It's probably up for grabs now. 21st is Tyler Evans. 22nd is Mike Taylor. That is race control, but not a bad race overall. One caution. That was pretty good racing, especially down the line. Kyle Gardner finally gets his first win. Very happy for him. He's kind of a guy that everybody likes in the Ghost League. He doesn't cause any ruckus. He's just a driver that he's there. Very nice. He knows how to race, so it was definitely good. But no, Dylan, what did you think of that race from the drop of the green flag to the checkered?
Oh, dude, you know what? Not even gonna lie, that was some pretty clean racing. Just like you said, one caution. And last season when we ran Talladega, there was a couple, but these guys came to race tonight. I mean, just the amount of respect that everybody had from them. Getting away from the short tracks, the mile and a halves, the plate-like races, and actually going out to a plate track. That is the most respect I have seen out of everybody out here tonight. And just the biggest takeaway was just the room that you had. Yeah, coming down to the couple final laps, you got a little bit antsy. You wanted to hurry up, get up to the front. But other than that, everybody was giving each other room. They weren't making desperate moves for the lead. And hopefully they can carry that momentum into a road course next week at the Watkins Glen.
Yeah, Glenn's always fun. I may suck at road courses, but even in real life, I love watching those things because it's pretty much the great equalizer. But great finish tonight. Gardner comes home first, pretty much wins twice tonight. Wins the No Ghost Challenge also. We'll have to see what he can do next week. But good race overall. If you all are watching this on replay or have watched it live, if you haven't subscribed, might as well. You can always take it back. No, like and share. That's always free. Doesn't cost money in today's society as we have too much inflation right now. But hopefully I will see you all next week at the Glen, and maybe some of you all tomorrow when I do the eNASCAR Truck Series stream. But I will let you all go after I run these quick ads here.